Well, anticipation is building for the arrival of another royal baby. This time we're talking about Prince Harry and, of course, his wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. They are expecting the birth of their first child very soon. We were told it would be sometime in the spring. And as the world watches, Meghan and Harry have told just about everyone that they are keeping their birth plans rather private. So out of that, still no official word from Buckingham Palace, but royal watchers are certainly keeping a close eye, as it could be the end of this month or the start of the next month. And with all of that comes a lot of speculation over the baby's name. So we're going to talk about this right now, reaching out to the co-editor of Meghan's Mirror, Amanda Deshaw, who joins us in Kelowna, BC. So Amanda, hello to you.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I love these conversations. They're a lot of fun. So let's talk about baby names here, because, you know, there is a lot of speculation, and the bookies in the UK always involved in such matters. So take a look at what they're saying in terms of names. Should the first child be a boy? They're saying Albert and Philip are essentially leading 12-1, followed by Arthur James 16-1, Alexander Alfred 20-1. So let's begin with the top two choices there, Albert and Philip, as those choices certainly have some royal nods to it.
Absolutely. They have so much royal history with those names, right? We've seen a lot of interest from our readers on our blog about what the name would be. And if it's a baby boy,
yes,
it's actually going to be the future Earl of Dumbarton. So we've had a lot of speculation about a name that has to match up with that other part of their title that they're going to get.
Okay, I'm going to tell people to bookmark that, because I do want to talk about the earldom in a second, but keep going.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just really interesting to see all the different things. James is a great choice. Philip is an interesting choice. I don't think they'll name him Philip, though. There's already a living Philip. I think that's a little strange, but who knows? That's only something that Meghan and Harry will have likely discussed in very private circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at the top choices for girls then, because again, from the British bookies, this is what they're saying, that Diana and Elizabeth, they are the leading choices for names, 6-1.
Yeah.
Victoria is the second choice for many, 8-1. And then it's followed by Alice and Grace having odds of 12-1. Of that grouping, what do you think? Because Diana, while we know that Harry loved his mother, not necessarily a name without controversy still.
That is so much pressure to put on a little person, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
The whole future comparisons with the late Princess Diana. I think that name is delightful in terms of a choice as a middle name, just like William and Kate did with Princess Charlotte. But I really don't think we're going to see a little baby Diana Sussex. I think a great choice is Victoria. It has a little bit more of a modern flair while still being a very regal sounding with a lot of tradition name to it. That seems to be our top pick on our blog. We're thinking it's going to be a girl, and their name's going to start with V. We have two choices, either Victoria or Violet. And it's not as out there as, I think there's still a name like Ginger, I think is 500-1 the last time I looked at the odds. So we'll see if that's our wild card pick anyway.
Well, that might just be a description of hair color, depending, considering the Spencer line. But, you know, it's interesting, too, is that people seem to be veering towards a first girl rather than a first boy.
It seems to be the way that people are guessing. It seems all of our readers are pulling for a girl. It'll be then Lady whatever her name will be, Mountbatten Windsor would be the formal title. You mentioned before, there's so much stuff about the titles that's still unsure. We're not really sure if Queen Elizabeth will give a formal HRH title to this new baby yet. We just don't know.
And let's explain that, because I think people think Harry being a prince, his children are automatically prince and princess, but that actually has to be conferred to them by the Queen. Otherwise, we have Princess Anne saying she wanted no royal titles for her children, and then I think about Princess Margaret, her son being the Viscount Linley.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't remember exactly what year it happened in, but they're trying to keep the titles for the royal family very close together. So what they're trying to do is minimize the numbers of HRHs that are out there and really keep the royal family, the core royal family, very compact, very small. So Prince William's children, for example, would not have been afforded the HRH title, the Prince and Princess, should the Queen have not granted that to happen when Prince George was born. So I think the Queen will be really looking for feedback from Harry and Meghan to see what they would be interested in for their kid.
And you mentioned an earldom. You actually mentioned an earldom should the child be a boy. Explain that.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So Prince Harry was actually granted an earldom upon his marriage to Meghan, and he is formally known in the UK as the Earl of Dumbarton. Of course, that everyone knows him as Prince Harry. That's how we'll forever know him. But that is his formal title. So if a baby boy is born based on the succession laws in the UK, the boy would inherit the earldom. Unfortunately, the laws have not yet been changed to reflect if it's a baby girl that she would inherit that earldom. It would not happen that way as of yet, but we can always, maybe Granny will come in with some kind of a special allowance at the last minute where we don't know.